Ah, the glorious moment. You've barely entered the world, and you're already the center of attention. Wrapped in perfume silks and expensive unguents, a tiny, squalling bundle of destiny. The room is bustling with priests, midwives, and nobles, all bowed low, whispering praises. "A blessing from Horus, a gift from the gods," they exclaim with hushed reverence. Yes, you are the son of the Pharaoh, the heir, the divine, the chosen one. And for one fleeting innocent moment, you might think, wow, I've hit the jackpot. But little do you know, my dear heir, this jackpot is a gilded cage, a golden curse. Because let's be honest, being a pharaoh's son in ancient Egypt was an absolute drag. Prepare yourself, because your life isn't a bed of roses, but a scorching desert of expectation, a landscape of relentless intrigue, and a destiny that is, frankly, quite inconvenient. Welcome to the show, future god, where paradise comes with a very hefty, often deadly price tag. You've just arrived, tiny and vulnerable, yet you're already a pawn in a cosmic game. Your mother's relief is palpable, whether she's the great royal wife or a high-ranking concubine. But this relief quickly intertwines with a profound, gnawing fear: infant mortality. It was brutal, even for royalty. A sneeze, a sudden fever, and the future of Egypt vanishes. You are immediately swaddled in amulets and charms, not solely out of affection. These sacred trinkets are there to ensure the survival of this precious investment. If you are a girl, prepare to be a strategic pawn, a living treaty in future marriages. If a boy, every cry is a harsh reminder, he will be a god. He cannot, must not fail. The weight of an entire civilization already rests heavily upon your small, fragile shoulders. Pressure, an immense crushing weight of divine expectation from your very first breath. Forget the simple joy of playing freely in the sun-baked dust or making mud pies. Your exquisite toys are crafted from polished ebony and gleaming gold, a visual delight. Yet your childhood is less about innocence and more a relentless boot camp. It's a rigorous training ground, preparing you for both military and religious leadership. Implacable tutors ensure you master complex hieroglyphs long before you can truly walk. You're taught advanced mathematics to manage an empire before you can tie your sandals. Lessons in astronomy, military strategy, and temple bureaucracy fill your every waking hour. Each royal meal is a strict lesson in court etiquette. Every outing, a formal procession. Being a carefree child? That's a luxury reserved for the lowliest of commoners. You are the sacred future of Egypt, and this demanding role requires profound sacrifices, beginning with your very own childhood. You might imagine a life of culinary delight, feasting on the finest foods, right? Plump, grain-fed cattle, delicate breads, exotic fruits, and mountains of sweet honey. All delicious indeed, but unfortunately absolutely lethal for your precious teeth. The grains for your fine bread were painstakingly ground using crude stone querns. This meant every seemingly innocent slice came with a generous, gritty dose of sand. Tiny, abrasive stone fragments were embedded within each mouthful you consumed. And the honey, used lavishly to sweeten everything, was a haven for rampant tooth decay. Constant, excruciating toothaches became a daily royal affliction, a painful reality. The dentists of the era. Their solutions were, shall we say, rather unrefined and brutal. Extraction was the most common and often the only painful recourse, with anesthesia a flexible concept. Love? What even is that? Your marriage is emphatically not a romantic choice. Instead, it's a cold, calculated political transaction, a strategic alliance forged in blood. And more often than not, this crucial transaction involves your own sister or half-sister. For the exceptionally lucky few, perhaps a first cousin, keeping the royal blood pure. After all, the sacred divine lineage absolutely had to be preserved within the family. Your immediate family often felt more like a nest of venomous vipers than a loving home. Your spouse could be your fiercest rival for power, or, if you were fortunate, a loyal ally. But this loyalty invariably extended only as far as the kingdom's interests, or her own. That idealized notion of happily ever after? In your world, it was an absurd, cruel joke. Your personal desires were irrelevant. Only the unyielding demands of the dynasty mattered. Do you have siblings? Excellent. Now you have ruthless rivals for the throne. They share the same insatiable hunger for power and the identical claim to your birthright. The royal court is a simmering cauldron of relentless intrigue, hushed whispers, and deadly schemes. Poisons were often cleverly disguised as refreshing drinks or innocent-looking meals. A convenient accident during a perilous hippopotamus hunt could easily be arranged. Perhaps a cup of tea, laced with herbs that are just a little too calming for life. Or a perfectly timed rebellion erupting conveniently near the kingdom's distant border. Egyptian history is littered with tales of princes who vanished mysteriously, without a trace. Your most dangerous, most cunning enemy might well be sleeping in the very next chamber. The crown is undeniably beautiful, but the treacherous path to wearing it is paved with countless daggers in the back. You are not merely the son of the Pharaoh, you are a living, breathing manifestation of Horus himself. You are the vital, sacred link between the fleeting world of mortals and the eternal gods. Every single step you take, every word you utter, every single perceived flaw is a divine offense. Your unwavering success ensures the bountiful flooding of the mighty Nile, crucial for life. It guarantees the Earth's fertility, the cosmic order, and the very stability of the universe. Your slightest failure, however, could unleash famine, devastating plagues, or utter chaos. Imagine the crushing pressure of needing to be perfect, absolutely infallible, truly divine. All this while battling nagging toothaches and outmaneuvering envious, plotting siblings. It's akin to being the CEO of a global corporation, but if you merely stumble, the entire universe collapses. No stress at all, right? Just the weight of creation on your fragile mortal shoulders. Your royal agenda is nothing short of an inferno of endless, elaborate rituals. There are solemn ceremonies to ensure the sun rises each day, bringing life-giving light. Rituals for the Nile to overflow its banks, blessing the land with fertile silt. Offerings and prayers to guarantee an abundant, prosperous harvest season. Chants and incantations to ward off malevolent demons and restless spirits. Elaborate rites to appease mighty Osiris, the lord of the underworld, and honor Sekhmet. You barely have a moment to attend to your own personal needs, let alone enjoy leisure. You are a mere puppet, dancing to the rigid, unwavering strings of ancient tradition, forever in servitude to the demanding gods and the expectant, watchful populace. Your personal life is a complete illusion. Your existence is the very essence of Egypt, an unending cycle of incense and offerings. Despite having the finest physicians in all of Egypt at your constant disposal, life was still incredibly perilous. These royal doctors were surprisingly quite advanced for their era in specific medical fields. Yet your privileged status offered no true shield against myriad invisible lurking dangers. Intestinal parasites were a constant threat, as were infections from relentless mosquito bites. Respiratory illnesses were common, exacerbated by the omnipresent fine desert sand. Life expectancy was not long even for those born into the highest echelons of royalty. And if you fell ill, it was often interpreted as a dreadful sign of divine disapproval or displeasure. More crushing guilt, more unbearable pressure added to your already heavy burdens. Mummification, the grand preparation for eternity, could wait, but virulent fevers certainly could not. Your divine body was alarmingly susceptible to the same mundane ailments as any peasant. If you are a prince, being an accomplished military leader is not a mere option. It is an absolute non-negotiable requirement, a fundamental part of your royal duty. You are expected to be physically strong, undeniably courageous, and strategically brilliant, leading formidable armies against the fierce Hittites, the aggressive Libyans, or the defiant Nubians. This perilous task is not just part of the job, it is the very essence of your princely role. Death in the brutal chaos of battle is not merely a remote possibility, it is a glorious, expected reality. You must sweat, you must bleed, and you must inspire your men to their last breath. Even if your true passion lies in stargazing or meticulously collecting rare scarabs. Warfare is a brutal, deadly dance, and you are inexorably forced to be its principal dancer. Your life, and indeed your legacy, often depended on your prowess on the blood-soaked battlefield. When the inevitable cold grasp of death finally arrives, your arduous journey truly only begins. Instead of a tranquil, well-deserved rest, you face the most grotesque and protracted process in history. The elaborate ceremonial process known as mummification, lasting hundreds of arduous days. Your internal organs are meticulously removed, carefully preserved, except for your precious heart. Your brain, deemed less significant, is gruesomely siphoned out through your nasal passages. Your entire body is then thoroughly covered with natron salt, left to slowly desiccate and dry. All these painstaking efforts are to ensure your vital souls, Ka and Ba, have a perfect vessel, a pristine, intact body to eventually return to, ensuring your eternal journey to the afterlife. But what if your carefully prepared tomb is tragically plundered by greedy grave robbers? What if the complex sacred rituals were performed incorrectly or incomplete? You could be left to wander forever without a final eternal home. You become a spectacle for the dead, a relic for the living, and an enduring enigma for millennia. Oh, and get ready for your mummified remains to be put on display in a museum a few thousand years from now. So, there you have it. Born into unparalleled opulence, yet perpetually imprisoned by crushing expectations. Surrounded by unimaginable riches, yet constantly tormented by debilitating diseases and ailments. Destined for undisputed divinity, yet perpetually threatened by treacherous betrayals and the constant specter of war. Your entire life was an unending, precarious balancing act between being a fragile mortal and a powerful god. A constant struggle between the vestiges of familial love, or what little remained, and the chilling demands of political pragmatism. A life of gold indeed, but a gold that weighed heavily like an anchor, binding you to a preordained destiny. A fate you never truly chose, a path laid out for you before your first cry. So the next time you find yourself complaining about a Monday morning, your demanding boss, or having to do the dishes, remember this: at least you're not compelled to marry your own sister, praying your spleen isn't removed in a ritual, or leading an army against hordes of fearsome enemies, all while desperately trying to avoid a conspiracy to poison your daily bread. True freedom, my friend, is a precious luxury that no son of a pharaoh ever genuinely experienced. So, what did you think of this luxurious life? Which of these royal struggles do you believe was truly the absolute worst? Or perhaps thinking about your own life, what's the biggest drag in your daily routine that would make an ancient Egyptian prince green with envy over your freedom? Let me know in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this wild trip back in time and felt a little relieved not to be ancient Egyptian royalty, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more controversial and impactful historical stories, and definitely click the bell icon so you don't miss our next videos. Until next time, and may Horus protect you, but not too much, because then life just gets utterly boring. I'm out.